Hello, everybody, and thank you for stopping by. I want to do a series on something, and it's going to be about women, and some of you are not going to like what I've got to say. But it has to be said for the sake of this country. Now, I'm sure that some of you have heard about red pill, and it's kind of a conservative view, and there's a lot of people who can't stand it. And there's a lot of red pilling done by men, but not by women, because women aren't quite as bold to discuss the problems of this nation and the women in this country. And I have known for a very long time that if they could get to the women of a nation and destroy her, they can destroy the nation. Because it is of my opinion that women are the backbone of a nation. They are the glue that holds that nation together. Okay? And if they can get to the women and destroy them, they can destroy the nation. They can destroy the family. They can destroy her morality. And that will destroy a nation. And that is what has happened to the women today. And how did they do it? With women's are equal to men. Feminism. Yeah, feminism. Well, women used to be feminine, but not anymore. Women today act like common alley cats. You've got men today who no longer want to marry women. It's a huge movement in this country. They don't want to do it. They don't think women are worth it anymore. What do they bring to the table? They can't cook. They got the morals of an alley cat. They only know fast food restaurants. And so they have nothing to offer in the relationship because a man is of the mindset, well, hey, if all she's ever going to bring me is McDonald's, and she's too lazy to clean her own darn clothes, she sure ain't going to clean mine. So what do I want to get married for? She has nothing to offer me. And not only that, she's got 3 or 4 kids. Yeah, I've known women, never been married, got kids already. Some of them 3 or 4. Some of them with 3 or 4 different fathers. Yeah, they got to women. See, they got to women and told them, you're as equal as a man. Why should you be looked down on because you're running on sleeping with men? Men do it. What did it get you? You know what men call women like that, and every time they get in a fight, you'll hear a man call her that. Now, that's not to say that there's not some men out there that call women that when they're not. But you got to ask yourself your question, why are you with a man like that if you ain't? Why, if your morals are not that of an alley cat, why are you with a tom cat? So, yeah, they got to the women of this country. They sure did. And they destroyed them little by little by making them feel. Don't you remember that famous politician? It was beneath her to stay home and bake cookies. She wasn't going to do something like that. Oh, yeah, that was beneath her. How horrifying to degrade and try to look down on women who took the job of being a wife and a mother and raising future presidents, doctors, lawyers, scientists, cancer researchers as something degrading. Yeah, that's what they turned the women into. If you stayed home and took care of your family and raised your family and worked at home, you were subhuman. You were not worthy. You weren't this really intelligent career woman that was independent, who doesn't need a man. Really? I call them men haters. And we got a nation full of them. And guess what? That has destroyed, little by little, it is a cancer that has eat away at this nation. It is. It's okay to live together. Hey, it's okay. It's okay to have sex with men. It's okay. It's okay to have a bunch of kids. This is something I think is a real kicker, okay? Women have a right to their own body. Okay. So if the man says, I don't want the kid, get an abortion, and the woman says no, then why is he stuck paying the child support? You want it? You want control over your own body, then pay for it yourself. You raise the kid and take care of it without child support. No, see, women today act like alley cats and act like men, but they want a quick run. I'm defenseless. I'm helpless. Help me, please. I can't raise this kid without the child support. But isn't that amazing? It's your own body. You chose to keep it. Now, I'm not saying I'm for abortion. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But if you're almighty and all powerful and you're a man and you have power over your own body, then take care of it. Because you were just as irresponsible. But you're forcing him because it's your body. And so, baby, give me that child support. I raised a son with not a penny of child support because I didn't need a man to do that for me. My husband walked off and I looked him straight in the eyes the day he left me for someone else, and I'm not bitter. Don't think that for a second. I'm a strong woman with morals. I looked him straight in the eyes and said, do you want to pay child support? He said, no, I don't. I said, okay. That was the end of it. Never asked for a penny, never got a penny, took care of my son. Fell in love again in the future. Remarried. And I never looked back. Strong women don't. They hang on to their morals. They hang on to who they know they are as a woman. They do. That's not to say, I don't need a man. I ain't one of these running around, I don't need a man. Well, yeah, I do. And so does this nation. And so does this country. But if they've got women thinking they don't, then they can destroy the nation. And they can destroy the country. And little by little, that's what they've been doing. See, don't you remember a time, or it's still around, where, younger men pay more car insurance than women do, or younger women, because younger men were considered a risk. They would drink and maybe do drugs and do unsafe things, and girls were considered more responsible, more mature, were not wild. Well, yeah, they are. They're just as wild as an alley cat. And so now we've got girls hooked on drugs, girls hooked on alcohol, girls hooked on sex, popping from man to man. Sorry, my allergies are getting to me. And so they're acting just like men. They're just as dangerous, irresponsible as men are. They are. And what has it all got them? Don't you remember when women really couldn't smoke? And how horrible that is? Well, guess what? Now we got women dying from drug overdoses, lung cancer, and alcoholism. Welcome to liberation, women. Welcome to feminism. Yeah. Look what it's got you. It's got you a bunch of name-calling, punched in the face, and treated like trash. Is that what you wanted? Because that's the bill of goods they sold you. And what did they do it for? To destroy the family and the country. They did. I have seen so many women who will not marry because they say, what for? I don't need a woman. If I want McDonald's, I can pull through the drive-thru myself. I can clean my own clothes. Women don't have anything to offer anymore. They're not precious rubies anymore, now are they? Don't you remember the Bible? The Proverbs woman? And how she was so precious? Well, women aren't precious. They're not of value anymore. See, you were sold a bill of goods of feminism, and now you're not really worth much. Oh, you may have a career, but that's all you end up with. Because even if you have children and you have a career, you don't raise your kids. Someone else does. You sold your children down the pipeline for your selfishness and your career. Don't give me this nonsense that people can't make it without two people working, because they can. But you just don't want to give up a whole lot, that's all. You don't want to clean your clothes on a scrub board because you want a washing machine. Because, you need a washing machine. That's more important than your kids. I know I had a mother, and we were always tossed back and forth from babysitter to babysitter to babysitter. But my mother had all the modern conveniences because she worked. And we were tossed from babysitter to babysitter. And not all of them were kind. But hey, that was the bill of goods they were sold. Got to have a nice new car, got to have a nice new house, you got to keep up with the Joneses, that sort of thing. And women fell for that nonsense. And now our nation is paying the price for it. It is. Now our nation, take a good look at it. Look what's happening around us. Look at the morals of our women today. They can punch you just as good as any man can punch. They can. They can cuss up a storm and be just as vulgar as any man. And they can hop from man to man and say, how dare you say anything to me? How dare you? Who are you to judge me? And they're still all alone, raising kids, and then their kids get off and go get married, and they're sitting there wondering why they're all alone. And some of them do end up getting married and going through 2 and 3 divorces. They do. And stuck with a bunch of kids. And fighting a man for child support because he has no respect for her. Because he knew before he married her she slept with 20 or 30 guys. Or maybe she's even lost count. No, men don't respect women anymore. They don't. You trade it off because you were sold a bill of goods. That being that moral woman, being that woman of value, being precious, being important, being the backbone of a nation, you sold it out because you wanted the rights that a man had. And where did it get you all? Nothing. Name calling. Dying from drug overdoses and alcoholism. Many of them are. Or what's worse, maybe some disease that you caught along the way. Or a few kids that you got to explain why isn't daddy around? Or who is my daddy? And you don't even know. I mean, how many DNA tests have there been done? How many men have they found out that have paid child support for years on kids, only to find out the kid wasn't even his? Isn't that a kicker? It is. It's a real kicker. But somehow the nation still looks at women as the frail, needs to be protected. Because she's virtuous and righteous. But I'm going to tell you something. The generation coming up don't think of women that way at all. They don't. They do not look at that.